Hi there folks, and welcome to video number 167. This video is on ratios of volumes, and the keywords I've got for you are ratio and volume, or volume and ratio in that order. So volume is the space inside a 3D object, and ratio is a way of splitting something up or comparing one thing to another thing. Okay. Now you may need to look at the volumes of different shapes and see how they're linked. You could be asked to show how many times bigger one shape's volume is to another, and that can be shown as a ratio. The way we do that is we work out the volume of each shape separately. So you need to know how to calculate the volumes of different things here. So watch the previous videos if you haven't already done so. Write the volumes as a ratio and then simplify. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now these are quite common exam questions now. I've seen them popping up quite a lot, which is why it's got a video. That's why I've made a video for you. Now this volume of the triangular prism, the volume of this one, this pink shape, is 4 times by 3. Because we half the base times by the height, so 4 times 3 times 12. So it doesn't matter if you do 4 times 6 over 2 times 12, because that's the same thing. Right, it's 4 times 3 times 12, that's going to be 12 times 12, and that is 144 centimeters cubed. Okay, now the volume of this cuboid is even easier. We just do 4 times 5 times 10, so that's 4 times 5, which is 20, and then multiply that by 10, which is going to be 200 centimeters cubed. Now we can forget about the centimeters cubed because it's both in the same units. So we're going to write the ratio of 144 to 200. Reason I've done it in that order because it says in the question triangular prism to the volume of the cuboid in its simplest form. Now we can simplify this quite nicely actually, and I'm just going to pause this and get the calculator. Okay, so bring in the calculator in. Right, a way we could simplify a ratio without actually doing it as a ratio is to do it as a fraction. All right, so if you press the fraction button and you type the numbers in, all right, just remember this is not the same thing as a ratio. 18 and 25, got 18 to 25. All right, simplifies the ratio straight away for you. If you've got a calculator, might as well use it, eh? So there's our simplest form for the ratios of the volumes. Ratio of the volume to the triangular prism to the volume of the cuboid. Okay, so two nice ones there. In question 2, we've got two shapes that we will be given the formulas for the volume of. Done a video on this, cones and spheres. Okay, so the volume of the cone, let's put volume of the C. Volume of C means volume of cone, right? 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by radius squared, 5 squared, multiplied by height, 12. Okay, now type that into the calculator. Let's see what we get. And we get 1/3. (100 pi). So we get 100 pi, and that's in centimeters cubed again because it's a volume. And then the volume of the sphere is going to be 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius cubed, and the radius in this case is 15. And I keep doing this with my spheres for some reason, I don't know why. Sometimes you will be given the actual radius, but the radius here is 15 centimeters because that's the diameter all the way across. So we're going to put in 15 cubed, right, on the calculator. So that's 4,500 pi centimeters cubed. Now what we can do is write the ratio of the cone to the sphere's volumes, right? So 100 pi to 4,500 pi. Again, we can forget about the units, the centimeters cubed. We can also forget about the pi because there's pi on both sides of this, right? So we can cancel that out. That's going to be 100 to 4,500. And let's just say we didn't have a calculator for this one. Divided both sides by 100, we get 1 on that side and we get 45 on this side. Okay, and that's quite nice because it tells us it's 1 to something, so we know how many times bigger the volume of the sphere is than the volume of the cone. We know it's 45 times bigger. Okay, and that's a useful thing to know, especially when it comes to higher level maths and we've got to do some similar object stuff with the scale factors, linear scale factor, area scale factor, and the volume scale factor. But I'll come to that when we get to that video. Anyway, so let's have a look at the third and final question on this one. right? This one asks us to find the ratio of the volume of the cone to the volume of the frustum in its simplest form. Now, you might not know what a frustum is at the moment because I haven't done a video on it yet, and that is one that is coming up shortly. The frustum is this bottom part of the cone, all right? If you were to remove the top part of the cone, you would end up with a frustum, okay? And to do the volume of a frustum, you need to work out the volume of the big cone, work out the volume of the small cone, and then take the volume of the small cone away from the volume of the big cone, okay? You are then left with the volume of the frustum. So I'm going to put the volume of the big cone equals, and now we can see, and again we would get given the formula for it, 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius of the big one is 6 squared multiplied by the height, which is 48, okay? And then the volume of the small cone, the one that's on top, a part of the same big cone, but the small bit that we can take off to get the frustum, right? That is going to be 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 2 squared multiplied by 16, all right? And then we've got to do is work out what those things are. And I wrote them both down because I'm going to do them on the calculator nicely, or efficiently, I should say. So 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 6 squared multiplied by 48, 576 pi. And that is going to be in centimeters cubed, again, just for the sake of putting it. And then if we want the volume of the small cone, we just go in to the formula that we used before, and we change the numbers to what they need to be for the small cone. So that's 64/3 of pi. Okay, and that's in centimeters cubed. And once again, we can write this, or write what we need to. All right, so I'm going to do the 576 pi minus, because it's the volume of the frustum now. Volume of the frustum is 576 pi minus 64/3 of pi. And that's going to be 576 pi minus that answer I just had on the screen, 1664/3 of pi, okay? Or 1664 pi over 3 if you want. Could extend that, it wouldn't matter if we extended that over the underneath the pi bit there. Now, this ratio of the volume of the cone is 576 pi. So 576 pi, that's not the right number. I tried to write it and it didn't work. Let's do it again. 576 pi to 1664 pi, or thirds of pi. And then what's going to happen here is we're going to try and simplify this ratio. We can cancel the pi out straight away. And remember what I said in the first question, we could use our calculator. Now these numbers will divide by 64/3 of pi. This will divide by 64/3 of pi, and so will this, because of the nature of what's going on with the question. But what to? Let's find out. So, press fraction button, and then I think I'm going to need to press it again on the bottom, like that. So I'm going to go back up. Can I go back up? Oh, it's not going to let me. This is. Right, so 576 I can put in. All right, and then I can put in there 1664, and there I can put 3. All right, and that's going to give me 27 over 26. So what I'm getting is 27 to 26. All right, as my final answer to that problem, simplified. Nice way of simplifying it using that fraction. Remembering it's not a fraction, remembering it's a ratio. Okay, there you go. There's that video finished. Please do like, subscribe, practice, most importantly. That's what this is all about. You practicing from what I'm telling you how to do things, or from what I'm saying. Just do some work. Do some work. Work hard, right? I'm waffling and babbling about nothing. What was I going to say? Nothing else. There's nothing else I'm going to say. Frustums is coming up. Hopefully I'll see you in some more videos. Well, I won't see you. You'll see me in these videos. But I want to know that you're watching them. I want to know that you're doing stuff. All right? Please do let me know. Thank you very much, and take care of yourselves. Look after one another. Bye-bye.